Hi, girls. Hope you're healthy and that you're able to learn just a few things over the last couple of weeks. Hopefully, a lot of things. But what I want you to do right now is turn to page 507 in Mirrors and Windows, or if before we left, you were able to purchase the Romeo and Juliet Folger edition, you can turn to page 7 of that book. So we're going to look at the prologue, which is the start of Romeo and Juliet, because we're going to look at sonnets today. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage, the which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. So the prologue is a sonnet explaining the general events of the play before the play takes place. Shakespeare's audience generally knew the story of Romeo and Juliet, as we like to think that we know the story as well in this day and age. And he just used the prologue in order to pique the interest of his audience, even though many of them already knew the ending of the play. If lines 1 through 4 of the prologue state that the two families, the Montagues and the Capulets, from Verona, Italy, are of equal distinction and that they have an old grudge where even today they're killing each other. Lines 5 through 8 declare that from these two families, a pair of lovers will take their lives, thus ending their families' hate for one another. And then the remaining 6 lines convey that the following play will show these events. What I'd like you to do right now is in Canvas modules an attachment called Lit Devices, Sonnet, Iambic Pentameter, Rhyme Scheme. And this is the handout that will appear on that attachment, and we're going to go over that today. Let me see if I can get it centered for you. So a sonnet is a 14-line poem, usually in iambic pentameter. The Shakespearean sonnet is also known as Elizabethan sonnet or English sonnet. It's divided into 4 parts, 3 quatrains, and a quatrain is a 4-line section of a poem. And then there's a final couplet, which is a 2-line section. The rhyme scheme, and we'll go over rhyme scheme as well here in a moment. The rhyme scheme of this Shakespearean sonnet, of all Shakespearean sonnets, it's A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. So, iambic pentameter, what does that mean? Iambic pentameter is a 5-foot line. We'll talk about feet in a moment. 5-foot line where each foot has an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. In labeling, a vertical line separates the feet. Okay, so there's going to be 2 feet 2 syllables per feet. And the U symbol and the / symbol above the syllables denote the unstressed and stressed elements. So iambic is unstressed, stressed. Trochaic is opposite of that. That would be stressed, unstressed. And we'll get to trochaic later. So usually pronouns, articles like on, the, prepositions, conjunctions, they're seen as unstressed. So if we look at an example, Robert Fitzgerald most often translates the Odyssey. So most of the Odyssey he tries to translate into iambic pentameter to keep that rhythm, that poetic element. So if we look at book 1, 48-49, Zeus speaks, "My word, how mortals take the gods to task. All their afflictions come from us we hear." So I'm trying to slow down so you can hear the rhythm. So when we talk about iambic pentameter, unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress. So you can see when I say, "My word, how mortals take the gods to task," there's a slight pause in between each foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet. Unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress. It's a dance. Now, rhyme scheme, the pattern of end rhyme in a poem. To correctly identify rhyme scheme, you need to look at the entire poem. So it's identified by lowercase letters. The first end sound is an A, lowercase a. The next sound that's not similar is a B. The third non-similar sound would be C, etc. So if we look at the prologue, the first line ends in dignity, T. Now, it rhymes with mutiny, ni and T. So that would be AA. So lines 1 and 3 would be labeled AA. Seen, however, the end of line 2 would be labeled B because een does not rhyme with T or ni. Remember, when you're looking at poems in order to label them with a rhyme scheme, some of the pronunciation over some older poems may be a little bit different. So just be aware of that as you look closely at the poem. Now, rhyme schemes labeled in a vertical line in the right-hand margin of a poem. So if we look at the next page, we have, make sure you have that. So we're looking at the prologue. So we can see, I have underlined the last sounds with the consonant and vowel sound here. T, ni, seen, clean, AB, AB. You can see there is the rhyme scheme for a Shakespearean sonnet. You can see each line, so it's 14 lines, a sonnet. Only 10 syllables per line. To house, holds both, so unstressed, stress. There's 5 feet, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we also have, even in a longer line, you can see it's still 5 feet. Which but, their children's end, not could, remove. So you can see that there is a pattern here. Okay, that's it.